Our next and final actor of the evening has been seen in so many places all around the region, he's literally lost count. None of these appearances had anything to do with stand-up comedy, but nevertheless, here is Rob Partridge. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hello again, everybody. How are you? Hello. I love this set. Is amazing to be up here with Brighton Beach Memoirs and looking around. I saw the Columbia pennant seemed a little faded. I would have chosen Yale personally. You know, darker blue would have shown up. I didn't go to Yale. I went to New Hampshire College, and it was the same shade of blue. Diploma was worth a little less, but that's all right. Yeah, I want to thank Mike again for all that he's done. Now, every person who's come up said they can't see, and I can see, so I don't know what their problem is. How many people were here last year at the graduation? I know half of you are Denise's friends, but that's okay. And it really is hard to see, so show of hands doesn't work. The clapping was helpful, thank you. Oh, house lights, well, there you go. This is a responsive staff. The thing about last year's show, and you saw a lot of new material, but, well, let me ask you, ma'am, what's your favorite TV sitcom of all time? Seinfeld, okay. I'm sure you have found yourself sitting through your favorite episode of Seinfeld, sixth time, and you watch it, right? So this was only 2, so this was not so bad. I'd be surprised if you come back, though, so don't. And Denise with the drinking coffee. She was drinking coffee next door. That's what I saw her drinking too. But my name is Rob Partridge. I was up here earlier to introduce everything that was going on. I don't think I told you that. But if I look familiar, yes, I was a young member of TV's The Partridge Family back in the 70s. I was the only one that was never in legal trouble. I guess if you don't beat up a transvestite prostitute, you're not newsworthy. So you haven't heard of me before. I will tell you that the class that Michael oversaw and oversees was invaluable. I mean, we learned how to write comedy, we learned how to edit, rehearse, perform. There were nuances that I never expected to learn. For instance, you may not realize this, but the moment you come up here, you have to make a split-second decision whether you're going to leave this in or pull it out. Now, see, the first time we did this, it was 9 o'clock on a Friday night, and the audience thought that was really funny because they were the Dirty Mind crowd. I've always been kind of a leave it in kind of guy, but tonight I'm going to pull it out, just so you're not surprised when we get to that point. I'm going to take the mic with me. This class was so helpful in so many ways, and we learned an awful lot about ourselves and about what makes audiences want to leave. I was going to come up and say, are you guys ready to laugh? And when you said yes, I was going to call Mike back down. One of the things I remember vividly was thinking about, we couldn't steal material. As Denise said, she doesn't watch comics, and so she had to develop, we all did. We had to come up with our own thoughts and our own ideas of comedy, and some of it's based on, you know, a lot of things we know and we've seen. Do we have any smokers in the audience? Does anybody smoke? Yes, I can see you here. And there's not a single hand lit up. That's actually fantastic. But for anyone who knows a smoker, bad statistic here. Smoking cigarettes can take 2 hours off your life. Every cigarette you smoke, 2 hours off your life. But I'm in the pharmaceutical industry. I was reading a paper in Lancet, and it said for every glass of red wine you drink, you add 1 hour to your life. All right. So here's your formula if you smoke. For every cigarette you smoke, drink 3 glasses of wine and live forever. I'll test the wine part, see how that goes. But no, I've enjoyed everything we've done here. Know a little bit about me ethnicity. I'm half Italian on my mother's side. My dad's Welsh-Irish, English. I am sick of hearing people say you look like Jay Leno because I'm not trying to imitate Jay Leno. His dad is Italian, his mom is Scottish, and somehow the facial features, the money didn't come with it, the cars didn't come with it, a few cars. But one of the things I try not to do is emulate, and at the end of the last show, I did an impersonation of Bill Clinton because it was in the news at the time. I tried to recreate it. I was up at Prism, It's a microbrewery, but it's also a comedy stage on Friday nights, and Jeff was kind enough to have me up there. So I reintroduced Bill Clinton, and I guess he's not funny anymore, so you are not. The blue dress, I did everything, no laughs. So we're not going to hear about Bill Clinton. But being part Italian, I had some great experiences. I mean this. That part of my heritage, the culture, was exposed to me little by little. I had a lot of relatives that lived down in South Philly. Beautiful homes, modest, just beautifully kept. You walk in, and it was the first time I ever saw wall-to-wall carpeting, in fact. Well, in an Italian home, you don't see the wall-to-wall carpeting because they have throw rugs over every inch of the carpet. And actually, if you had this experience when you walk in, every house had plastic runners going in every direction to protect the throw rugs that were protecting the wall-to-wall carpet. And it only got worse from there because I was, a little kid. You walk into the living room, had a long trip. You walk in and every piece of furniture, except the coffee table, is covered in thick, clear plastic upholstery. The love seat, the cushions, the pillow, everything's plastic, and you still weren't allowed to sit down on the damn thing. It was just the mindset. But fantastic, wonderful experiences. Those modest homes. Probably one of the more modest figures you're ever going to find, Jesus, right? You think Jesus, everybody thinks they know Jesus. Baby Jesus, adult Jesus. In fact, I was watching a movie, Ricky Bobby. You're familiar with this? Have you seen it? Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly. Really funny movie, really well done. There's a scene where they're sitting around a table and they're having an argument about which Jesus they like more, right? Baby Jesus, or are they going to pray to older Jesus? It gave me a thought. This is one of those little epiphanies. I have never heard anyone talk about middle school Jesus. Right? At some point, he was 10 years old. He was a kid. I started to think, what was his life like, right? What was it like being Jesus in school? It could have its moments. I'm thinking maybe he wasn't every student's friend. They're in the lunchroom and they're eager for mac and cheese and chili con carne, and he's over there lobbying for loaves of bread and fish to the lunch lady, and that can be a problem for kids. The other thing I thought about was acne. I'm in dermatology, right? And I'm thinking that at that age, Jesus probably had acne. You wouldn't associate that, You could say that he had papules and pustules before he had apostles. But you probably wouldn't say that. Jeff Ost might say that. I won't go there. But, the things teens do. He probably had a job. I thought about what job might he have. Jesus probably worked at the Nazareth 7-Eleven on weekends. I'm just guessing. Good money. And I'll bet you on Sunday mornings, he was turning the red Slurpees into wine, and the line was out the door because you get to see this firsthand. I don't know. It's just one of those things where you think about, how can you be sure? How can you know? I mean, there weren't newspapers. There is, however, there's one documented case. I remember reading this. It's the 23 BC Nazareth Middle School yearbook. Now, before you go any further, you think at 23 BC, remember, he died at 33, so when he was 10, it was 23 BC, and everybody knew it. They knew there was 23 BC. That's the yearbook. You go back. He was a goalie. He was a soccer goalie for the Nazareth Middle School team. And in the very first game, Judas scores an own goal, and he should have, from there on, he should have seen this coming. He should have known. But he was, by all accounts, a good goalie. I think about just simple, normal day-to-day situations, all right? Maybe Jesus out on the playground. Think about recess, for instance. Here's Jesus coming out for recess. Two captains are picking teams for kickball. Can you imagine the fight they had over who gets Jesus on their team? No, come on. Jesus, you're over here. I got you. No, hold on. You had Jesus last week, and you had Fat Billy, and that kid can kick the ball a country mile. We get Jesus. Come on, Jesus. You're on our team. Come on over here. Come on, bud. What? What's that? No, it will not be a miracle if you can kick the ball. It will be a miracle if you can run to first base in those sandals. We're going to have to get you some sneakers. What, were you born in a barn? What's that, a manger? Okay, we'll get you some sneakers. Don't worry about that. And I think a little bit about how tough it was for his teacher. I mean, imagine being a teacher right? And Mother Mary and Joseph come in for the parent-teacher conference with their donkey. And, you know, it's your difficult responsibility to explain to them that Jesus is having behavioral problems. Mother Mary, I am sorry to have to tell you this, but your son is the class clown. And we have to rein him in. I do not want to get cross with him. Oh, it's still too soon? Come on, that's called foreshadowing. I have to.